And Proteus says, dude, just hold on. Just grab a hold on. Wait a minute, wait a minute. This chick can turn into a tiger. She could eat me for dinner. He says, no. Salve! Kuragis hodie! Ego sum bene. Mihi nomen est magistra relia. Now, magistra doesn't mean miss or missus, it means female teacher, but that seems like a silly thing to say in English, so we just say my name is Miss Aurelia. So, salve, kuragis hodie, ego sum bene, optime, mihi nomen est magistra Aurelia, quid tibi nomen est? Quid tibi nomen est? So if you like ancient Greek and Roman history topics, different topics, mythology, in a story format, then you're in the right place. These stories are pretty much appropriate for any age, but I've geared them specifically toward middle school age children who might also be learning ancient Latin at the same time. So if you're a teacher, a student, or a homeschool parent, instructor, then please check out, I will have a free download in the description box for some intro second year Latin work. And you'll also find a link to my website where you can check out other educational resources geared toward Latin students in various stages. Make sure to sign up for my free email so you can receive future updates. I am not a fan of bombarding people with emails, only when necessary, so you're not going to get a bunch of them from me, don't worry about that. And hang around after the story for a flash Latin lesson from today's story. Help a girl out. Hit the like and subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you can get those notifications when I upload again, probably weekly. But now, on to the story. So have you heard of Peleus and Thetis? Certainly you've heard of Achilles and Zeus. We're going to talk about Peleus and Thetis today. Now Thetis was a very beautiful nymph, a sea nymph and goddess, daughter of the sea god there. Not Poseidon, we'll talk about that. And Peleus is just a simple mortal, well, more like a king, not so simple, but you know, he was kind of special. He sort of just happens to be in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. So what happens when there's something, anything, a nymph, a human, whatever it is, that's just really shiny and glittery and pretty, and Zeus notices it? He falls for her, right? So that's exactly what happened. Here you can see an image of Peleus and Thetis. Here's Thetis, and some things that you'll start to understand as this story unfolds. You can also read about her in Ovid's Metamorphoses, book 11, lines 221 to 265. You can read it in English. This is from Poetry and Translation. You can also read it in Latin. Okay, so Proteus is that sea god that I was talking about, the father of Thetis, and he gives her this prophecy that someday you will be the mother of a heroic son. His deeds are going to eclipse those of his father. And of course Zeus, as much as he wanted Thetis to be his new girlfriend, he couldn't really risk having a child with her, nor could he let her have a child with Poseidon or Apollo or any other really strong god, because that child would still become very, very mighty, right? So he sets Thetis up with Peleus, this king.
Hmm?
Fortunate, right? Yeah. But the problem is that Thetis can change shape. She can change into all kinds of different things. Things that could scare a human or eat a human. So, Peleus is a little afraid, a little timid, but Zeus has said, hey, there's going to be your future wife. Go get her. So while she's sleeping, he does just that. He goes and he gets a hold of Thetis and holds on to her. But while he's holding on to her, what does she do? She changes shapes, right? I mean, first of all, she's woken up out of a sound sleep. This guy grabbing a hold of her. You what? You want to marry me? No. So she changes into an Achilles, a bird. That doesn't do anything. She changes into a magnarbor, a large tree that really doesn't do much. Eventually, she changes into a tigris. Now he gets kind of scared and lets go and runs off. And so she dusts herself off, turns back into her beautiful nymph self, and thinks, oh, that's that. That's all done. But here we go, the Achilles. Remember, an Achilles, a magnarbor, and a tigris. So she thinks that's that. But he is not ready to give up yet. He takes some wine and pours it out into the sea in order to entice the prophet of Carpathia to rise up and help him. And this is Proteus, the old man of the sea. And he says to Proteus, Concilium tuum mihi opus est. Concilium tuum mihi opus est. So this means I need your advice. If you look here on your screen, concilium tuum is the accusative, neuter, singular, your advice or your plan. Opus est is sort of different. Est is your verb, it is, and opus, work. But when you use it like this, it sort of has an idiomatic meaning like necessest. It's necessary to have. It's necessary for me. So you could change this around to where concilium tuum is the subject. Your plan is necessary for me. That's kind of a technical way to say it, but I need your advice. This is a dative of possession with est. I need your advice, he tells Proteus, the old man of the sea. And Proteus says, dude, just hold on. Just grab a hold. Wait a minute. This chick can turn into a tiger. She could eat me for dinner. He says, no. She's going to change to this and that and flip around and yada yada. You simply tranquilus esto et patiente amabe. Tranquilus esto down here is your future form of est, which you had up here. Be, and it's also telling you be calm. You be calm and have patience. Just be calm and have patience. Hold on. She's going to change. But it's not gonna, she can't do anything. She's just changing shape. She's just scaring you. So he's okay. And he walks up to her. She's awake this time. And he says, oh, Thetis, I'm here to marry you. And she says, non facileret me captare. Non facileret me captare. Won't be easy to capture me. So he does. He puts his arms around her. And here's the Latin. Okay, this is from Perseus. You can see the Latin. And here's another picture from theoi.com. I definitely advise checking out theoi.com. And she says, no, it's not going to be easy to catch me. You can try. So he does. He puts his arms around her and she wiggles and turns into a snake. That doesn't do anything. He holds on. He's a little intimidated, but he's like, okay, she's not going to do anything. She turns into a tree again. I mean, what's a tree going to do, right? And again, she turns into a bird, but she doesn't fly away because he's got a hold of her. She turns into a large bird, so she can't get away from him. She turns into a tigress again, but he just holds on. He just holds on, and eventually she goes, ugh, I'm so tired. This has been going on for hours. And she changes back into herself. When she changes back into herself, she becomes his bride-to-be. So our next story is going to pick up right there with the wedding of Peleus and Thetis. But here is a picture of her on a hippocamp, which is kind of a half horse, half fish. And you can see some of the other nymphs around her, right? And then the first picture, let's go all the way back up to the first picture I had of her, shows some nymphs around her, her buddies, and then Peleus here says, hold on, and it shows that she's changed into even a lion, right? And it doesn't show the others, but is that a snake there? I'm not sure, but she changes into a lot of different things. And you can find this image at thatoi.com right here. There's a lot of great information there. Check that out. And, well, so what do you think of today's story? Do you think Peleus has a hope in this world of staying married to this powerful goddess? And he becomes the father of Achilles. You know who Achilles is, right? Who's your favorite character? What's your favorite part of this story? Stick around for the flash lesson. And if you want a more in-depth method of teaching this information, I will post that for you as well. Gracias, te Biago. Alright, so here's your bonus lesson, and I just realized that you can't really see this well. We already kind of talked about this. Concilium tuum mi opus est. Opus est is very similar to neces est. It is necessary. Oops. Right? And tranquillus esto et patientia amave, and non facileret me captare. Right. My picture's in the way. Well, we know that means, or that's concilium tuum, right? And this is how I sort of make it easy for my students to visualize what's going on. So concilium tuum is neuter, so it's neuter singular. It could be either accusative or nominative depending on how it's used in a sentence, right? So here we kind of twist it around. It means your plan or your advice, your counsel for me, mihi, this dative of possession, is necessary. Opus kind of means work or some other, things when you look it up, but when you use it in this sense with mihi, it's meant to be thought of like neces est. It's necessary. Your plan is necessary for me. The best way to say that is, I need your plan. I need your advice. I need your help, right? And tranquillus esto, be calm. Et patiente amabe, have patience. Non facileret me captare. It won't be easy to capture me. There we go. You see that dative of possession, predicate nominative with opus here, up here. This is your imperative, your future imperative, be. Right? Be calm. Conjunction at, and have your direct object, patience. And tranquillus with esto is in the predicate nominative. You're saying you be calm. You equals calm on the other side of est. You can do that with abe, but we didn't here. And your adverb non, your adverb facile, not easy. Erit, your verb, it will be not easy. Captare, to capture. Me, me. Okay, and here are your, it won't be easy to capture me, or to capture me will not be easy, because you can use captare as subjective infinitive, but we just keep it simple and say it won't be easy to capture me, use it as an infinitive. So now let's try something different. Let's see if this will work for you. Let's see if this will play. Okay, because I intend to give this to you, right? So we have Thetis sapelio captest, illa formam mutavit, sed Peleus eam tenuit. And I would have my students, this is the flash lesson for teachers portion, I would have my students first of all shout out whatever word's recognizable to you. What do you see that looks easy? And most of the time they're going to say, well, Thetis. They'll probably say Peleus est. I know they're going to say est. Some of them might say illa, and some of them might say sed and eam, but you're going to get Thetis, you're going to get est, and you're going to get Peleus. The next step is to have them provide you with a rough translation. Okay, so what do you think this means? Right? Thetis is a captive of Peleus, something like that. She, her form, she changes, but Peleus something, we're going to get a rough translation, okay? So that's cool. We're going to work with that. Now we're going to ask them which words look really complicated to you. What ones look like something you can't say? And they're going to shout out kapta. They're going to say, well, we kind of have an idea what it means, but you're going to get mutawit probably and tenuit. Okay, and that's good. So we will go through and talk about what these are. Thetis is our subject, and captest, right, is going to be our verb. Now, at this stage, they're not going to really have a firm grasp of the perfect passive system yet, but that's okay. We'll just say that you know what capto, captare, captavi, captatus is, right? I capture, to capture. So here's the fourth principal part, and I will show that to them, plus a form of sum. Just keep it in your mind that this is the perfect passive. This is something that happened to the subject in the perfect tense, which means it was completed in the past. So Thetis was captured. And then we'll talk about apelio being, yes, the object of the preposition ab, but also an ablative, of agent, the one doing the action of the verb in this one. If we switch this around to an active sentence, it would be Peleus captured Thetis, right? So Peleus captavit Thetam, or we would, change Thetam captavit. So we would do that little exercise. And illa forma mutavit, we would talk about what that mutavit means. Oh, here I already broke that down. And if you think about the word mutate, or a mutant, right? Okay, they're going to say mutate, changing. They'll come around to the idea that this means to change. And of course I will drag out the parsing of it and get down to the fact that it is a third singular perfect indicative active verb with the subject being illa, being used as she, the demonstrative. And we've talked about this before. So she changed form or shape, right? Formum can be shape or form. Okay. But said, they're going to know that Peleus is the subject of this one, but Peleus did something to Aeom. They're going to be able to pull that out. And I will go ahead and say, well, you know how Ila is being used as she, the subject here, then Aeom is the personal pronoun. Is this a boy or a girl? And they're going to know that it's a feminine because of the am ending. So, okay, so what does it mean? She or her, they'll come out with that, right? So Peleus tenuit, there's no real good equivalent to this in English that they're going to remember. So we just have them look it up. And then they have to add that to their vocabulary list. So Peleus held on to her. Okay, we come up with that. And we work through the grammar concepts and have several who would like to read it in Latin, and we translate it a few times without going through it, and they get the notion of it. Then I have, you know, here I just showed them the blank page and have them translate it after reading it a few times. Then they will make their own notes in their vocabulary list for anything that's still confusing to them, and then I'll just keep having them read the Latin. I'll go around the room, everybody gets to read the Latin, we'll read it all together. And the more that they do that, the more they start to understand what it says without actually translating it back in their heads. I hope that this is a nice little lesson for you. I will go ahead and leave a link for this so that you can download this for yourself. Check out my website as well. That will be linked below. There will be a bundle, a lesson bundle based on just this portion of the Peleus and Thetis story. The price has been reduced. Also, if you are a teacher and you can send to me an email, which you can do on my website, and that has your official school email address attached to it, or you know, like mine is Magistra Aurelia at Dominion ... or you know, I don't want to give out all my information, but then I will give you a 10% discount on top of the already discounted price for that bundle. And in that bundle, let me pull up a list of it. Okay, so in the bundle, you're going to receive quite a bit of things. You'll get a short 2-scene play in Latin for beginner students to read. It's going to come with an introduction to the myth, so you can go over that if you don't want to use my video, that's great. You'll have a vocabulary sheet from the story as well as an English translation of the little play. You're going to have a context quiz with an answer key and some vocabulary quiz and some group discussion questions. You'll have an extra grammar lesson about perfect active verbs and an extra grammar lesson that goes over present indicative verbs, as well as a grammar quiz with an answer key. I'm also going to give you an audio file of myself going through the play that I've written so you can hear how the restored classical pronunciation would sound. And all of these you're going to receive in both a PDF and a Word document, so you can do what you want with it. The only thing I ask is that you don't resell it. You can print it, use it for all your classes, whatever, just please don't resell it. Just send a link back to me is all I ask. If that's something you'd be interested in, please feel free to check it out, and if you have any questions, send me an email. The email is posted on my website. Remember to sign up for my newsletter, the list. Sign up for the list. Alright, gracias, Tiago, et vale, amica.